Alright folks, we are working with colored pencil and more specifically color transitions. Now it's always great to start off with a white. Now I know you can't see any of this, but when you're working with white it illustrates your highlights like I did here. And you want to kind of think about where the light would potentially be hitting your wiggle or your tentacle, whatever you'd like to call them, and where the imaginary light's going to hit it. So just kind of block that in to start off. We are working with analogous colors, so red, orange, yellow, blue, green, yellow, those types of things. Remember, analogous colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Now for this one I'm going to use colors that traditionally aren't thought of together. I'm going to be using orange to start off, as you can see. Now as you're working, remember, you can hold your pencil in different ways, and the amount of pressure that you use is going to help determine exactly how light or dark your color is. So that's going to help that 3D effect. Always try to follow your object. So if your lines curve, or your object curves I should say, you want to make sure your lines are curving as well. And it should be a little bit darker underneath where it goes under, or if an object goes over your spot. You also want to make sure you're planning ahead. We are transitioning colors, so you want to make sure that you're going to have enough space for your transition to each color, because you don't want to have an imbalance of just a really teeny tiny color as you're going along. Make sure you're layering your colors as well. Every time my hand goes off the page, a lot of times that's going to mean I'm switching colored pencils, whether that means it's a lighter red or a darker red. That's going to again help with the 3D effect. So always be layering your colored pencils. Colored pencil never erases entirely, but I am going to have this one go over. So it will have a slight erase, and it won't be completely perfect, but it just has it will illustrate what it looks like if you try to erase. Again with the highlight. And the shadow. As you're working and transitioning colors, please remember that you don't want to switch from red immediately to purple if that's the colors you're transitioning to. You want to make sure you're layering the purple in the red, so you have that red-violet color before it goes to full violet or purple. You want it to be very subtle as you work. Also try to remember, if you do put in a harsh outline, to try to go back and soften it up, whether that means coloring in a little bit lighter as you go, so working with pressure, or utilizing a different colored pencil and layering in another color. But you don't want that really harsh outline, because that's going to cause it to come across a little bit more flat, and we want to try to avoid that. Once you do finish, you can go back and erase anything, but just kind of clean it up a bit and label. And then that is just how you draw your initial wiggle. Make sure your hand is loose.